day 10 of the Michelle Troconis trial, and today prosecutors put on a detective who interviewed Michelle Troconis for hours. So I'm here now with our legal analyst, Walter Hussey, who's a criminal defense attorney. Thanks for being here. So Michelle cried as she watched these interviews, and also it strikes me it's likely the first time the jurors even hearing her voice, since she hasn't spoken yet. How does that impact the jurors in court, and what's the significance of that?
Well, I think any case when the jury's always going to try to evaluate things as they progress, whether it's a witness, whether it's a state's attorney, a defense attorney, but particularly in this case, the defendant. So that's the first time they're going to hear her speak, although not out of her mouth in court. And the fact that she cried, it gives a human element to it too, as well.
So that's something the defense would want, is to humanize her, as she's trying to say that she has no knowledge of what happened to Jennifer.
Well, you say want. You don't want it to be manufactured. It has to be real, and if that's real and authentic, yeah, that certainly helps her.
Okay. So also, we're going to focus as this goes on, because we know from reading the arrest warrants that the state is likely going to talk about that she seemed to change her stories in those interviews, and that she wasn't completely forthcoming.
Yeah, the jury's going to find that out, because I read the arrest warrant, and there's a progression of things that she said that weren't true, and she ultimately admits it, and the jury's going to find out when they listen to this interview that there are some untruths. She admitted some things, but ultimately she comes clean, at least in her mind.
Right, and so it maybe, I guess what they'll chalk it up to is not necessarily, oh, does that mean you're covering something up? That's what the jury's going to have to decide. Or did she just remember things differently, and she was under a lot of stress and pressure being interviewed by police?
Well, to be honest, I think a lot of times when people meet with the police, you're under a lot of stress to begin with, especially when you're in an interview room like that. So you try to be cagey, maybe. And, you know, she wasn't completely candid, to be fair. And I'm not speaking out of hand here, because she'll admit it herself during these tapes. But ultimately, she does admit certain things, what she said were incorrect, and she corrects herself. So it's going to be, when they look at the totality, all 6 hours, you're going to see an evolution of a story. And it's up to the jury whether or not they're going to believe it.
And we saw the video where she appeared to drop something outside of that Tacoma truck in downtown Hartford. And just the fact that she was in the north end of Hartford, where he was dropping bloody materials that the state says had Jennifer's blood on it. So that seems like it's going to be significant. It's like, what was she doing? Did she did she really not know what was going on?
I don't know. I mean, that's up for the jury. I mean, to decide one way or another. I'm not sure what she was doing. I mean, they're going to make an allegation, I think, that she was dropping something in the sewer. She may or may not admit that. I don't know. It's unclear. But just being there, you know, just mere presence or acquiescence doesn't mean she's guilty of anything.
Right. So she's claiming that she had no idea. They thought we were out for a Starbucks run. That's what we're going to really see the state try and prove, that she knew much more as this case goes on.
Well, I think what happened is he said, listen, I'm going to throw out some trash, and that wasn't uncommon of him to, like, dump things illegally. And so I don't know. Ultimately, it's up to the jury whether or not they want to believe it, but it's possible, right?
We'll continue to watch the videos of the testimony as we cover the Michelle Troconis trial for you. You can always stream it for free live right on WFSB Plus. Thank you so much, Walter.
Thank you.